Just fire?
We are doing.
Yeah.
You buying one? You buying any paws? You gotta pay 20 grand. 20 grand a paw. No? We'll give it to the Education Foundation.
He'll go first, so he can read it and then sit back.
Where were you this week? We were all in AC. Right? I asked Hickey for a room, I get a closet, man. What the
Thank
frig?
you. I got. No glasses. You ready?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. At this time, I'd like to reconvene the board meeting and turn it over to our student representatives, Jake and Kylie.
Hello, I'm Kylie. I'm the senior class president. For SGA this month, we had our homecoming in October, and it was a huge success, so thank you to everyone who made that night amazing. And SGA is currently planning our Battle of the Classes for December, and our next meeting we will have in the second week of December.
Let's just raise it, because why not? Okay, I'll be presenting Matthew Blum, Unsung Hero for November. So November's Unsung Hero was chosen because of their unwavering loyalty, and spirit toward everything in Lacey. This student involves herself in many integral functions within the walls of this high school. Promoting the pride that the PAW stands for, it's 100% effort on and off the field, whether it's hockey or lacrosse. However, you will never hear her boast about her contributions. Her humble and kind nature attracts those around her, and she was always offering a helping hand. One will often see her assisting underclassmen, encouraging those on many fields, and offering to be a part of many activities that makes us Lacey. Her impact does not stop there. Working in the community to volunteer her time through the Student Government Association places her in many locations throughout the town. This student never says no, even around her work schedule, she always finds a way to lend a hand. Many of you have probably seen her, yet her face is typically hidden behind the camera lens as she captures many Lacey events. It is for these reasons and countless more that the Matthew Blum Unsung Hero Award for November is awarded to the deserving Ellie Reed.
Go do your homework.
All right. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Clark for a report of the superintendent.
Thank you, President Giordano. Welcome to our November board meeting. Before I start my comments, I just want to say a little bit more about Ellie, and I hope I don't embarrass you. First of all, Ellie, is your family here with you? Yeah? Can you stand and be recognized too? Because we all know that students are successful because they have a strong support system at home. But I got an email from Mr. Merman, and he wanted everybody to know that Ellie just won third place at the WHYY Philadelphia Youth Media Award, so congratulations to you for that. And that was for a documentary. And another thing that Mr. Merman talked about is that Ellie just produced an adorable pet adoption piece that he sent me and I watched. And you did a really nice job with it. And they're going to be airing that commercial, I guess we can call it, right? What was the name of the dog in that? Newton, that's right. And that was very good. So a round of applause to you for that initiative, because that was fantastic. So it's no secret as to why you were named Unsung Hero, so nicely done, nicely done. All right, and even though they left, thank you to Jacob and Kylie for the information that they provide to us every month. And as I always do, behind me are the board covers, and I want to tell you about the artists. Olivia Schwartz is a 6th grade student at Mill Pond. She designed the cover of tonight's board agenda. And Katie Cullen, who's also a 6th grade student at Mill Pond, designed the cover of the Superintendents Report. So a round of applause to them for doing a fantastic job. And I say it every month, I'm going to say it again. If you get a chance, please come to the board office because we do have the artwork of all of our students hanging proudly on the walls, and it's starting to look fantastic because almost the entire wall is covered. At this time, I'd like to take a moment to congratulate Mrs. Downing, Mrs. McAvoy, and Mr. Scanlon on their recent Board of Education election wins. But at the same time, I would be remiss if I didn't recognize and thank Board President Giordano for all of your hard work and dedication to this board. And Mr. Peters, I'm sorry, Mr. Peters, I forgot about you. The lone quiet person there on the end. And Mr. Peters. Round of applause to him. Thank you. All right, so I see some students in the audience, and I think you're a little excited. We're excited, and I didn't really talk too much about this because Mrs. Nemec asked me to keep this a surprise for the Board of Education. So, Mrs. Nemec, the floor is yours.
Good evening, and thank you for this opportunity to speak. I'm not going to do a lot of the talking because we have some representatives here from Mill Pond and our Proud Paws group. So I will let them introduce themselves, and then Lindsay at the end is going to share why we are up here. Okay, sound good? So I'm going to move the mic down here, and then you guys can all say hello and introduce yourselves, okay?
I'm Erica Doffinger, and I'm the treasurer of Proud Paws.
Hi, I'm Cooper Mick, and I'm the president of Proud Paws.
Hello, I'm Emily Doffinger, and I'm a part of Proud Paws. Hello, I'm Lena Buller, and I am the supervisor of Proud Paws. Good evening, Dr. Clark and members of the Board of Education. My name is Lindsay McGovern, and I'm the vice president of Mill Pond School's Proud Paws Club. The Proud Paws reached out to each and every student in Mill Pond Elementary School and asked them to write a letter of appreciation for you for getting our new gym ready for us to enjoy. Tonight, our executive board would like to present with you these letters and thank you personally on behalf of our friends and classmates. We love our new gym. Thank you so much.
Ribbon and everything. Thank you.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can't wait to see the floor. So we all get around in a few more days.
So thank you again for this opportunity. I'd like to thank Ms. Supsey and Ms. Anzalone for their help in coordinating this. And we also have a certificate of appreciation for the Board of Education as well. So thank you. Our students love the gym. It looks
Quite
great.
welcome. So, and I know we can't see them because they're in the envelopes, but Mrs. Nemec shared with me, because it was a surprise for all of you, but I knew about it. There are over 700 cards in these envelopes. Wow. So we have a lot of reading to do. So thank you so much for coordinating it. Thank you to all the Proud Paws. Another round of applause to all of you. Yeah, I kept a good secret, right?
You did.
Yeah.
Yes,
All
you
right.
did.
Good stuff. Okay. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is our fall presentation. And unfortunately, if you're here, you're not there because it's opening night tonight. But the play is It's a Wonderful Life, a live radio play, which is based on the holiday classic, so I'm sure you're all familiar with It's a Wonderful Life. But there's a little twist thrown in, the clever twist. The story is staged as a live radio broadcast. And the good news is that even if you're missing it tonight, you will have an opportunity because tomorrow there's a show at 7 o'clock, on Saturday at 7 o'clock, and on Sunday at 3 o'clock. So if you want to get into the holiday spirit, I highly encourage you to take a peek. Mr. Olander and his drama students are so excited about it, so we hope you can make it. Tickets $10 for adults and $5 for students and seniors. And there's a link on our website where you can purchase tickets in advance. So we look forward to seeing you at the show. Mr. Brandis, are we ready for Students of the Month? Yeah? All right. And I know younger students, you probably have to get home and do some homework. Yeah? All right. So we're going to let you scoot out if you'd like to. Thank you so much for coming.
They don't want
Thank
to
you.
stay for the audit?
The audit?
Good afternoon. Thank you again for joining us here on the board for allowing me to present the Students of the Month. Certainly something I enjoy a great deal of in celebrating the wonderful students and their accomplishments. So the first November Senior of the Month, I'd like to invite up Madison Dennehy. Congratulations. Congratulations to Madison's family as well. Congratulations. We're now going to watch some of Madison's accomplishments and what she's done here at Lacey High School. Good evening. I'm Greg Brandis, principal of Lacey Township High School, and we're here to celebrate November's Senior of the Month. First, I'd like to congratulate Madison Dennehy.
Hi, my name is Madison Dennehy, and I'm excited to be Senior of the Month for November.
Madison, anyone who knows you knows that you are, without a doubt, the most pressure-filled person on yourself with your work as anyone can be, and it definitely shows in the classroom. It shows with your enthusiasm, and you actually have a really good sense of humor when you choose to have one.
A few of my favorite classes are the Leadership Academy of Humanities with Mr. Taha and previously Mr. Romeo, and A-Push with Mr. Romeo.
The attribute that is most impressive about Madison is her ability to overcome adversity, all the while working on her school workload and working outside of the school has really paid off to her success here at Lacey Township High School.
I'm currently taking 6 AP-weighted classes, and I've taken a total of 11 AP-weighted classes throughout my high school career.
Madison is a very active member of the school community. She's active in SGA as a member of the executive board. She is also involved in NHS and is the president of the Interact Club. So she is a very exceptional and important member of the Lacey Township High School community.
After high school, I'm looking to double major in psychology and neuroscience. I'm looking to go to Fordham University or Drew University to become a forensic psychologist.
Madison, congratulations.
Congratulations to Madison Dennehy.
Madison, just want to say congratulations again. You deserve it, and I wish you nothing but the best in your future endeavors. Good luck, kid.
Congratulations again to Madison. Now I'd like to welcome up November Senior of the Month, a face and a voice you may know, Jacob Serrano. Congratulations, Jake. Congratulations to Mom and the family as well. Congratulations. You have a speech? Congratulations. We'll watch Jacob's accomplishments as well. Hello, we're back here to celebrate November's Senior of the Month. Next is Jacob Serrano.
Hi, I'm Jake Serrano. Proud to be November Senior of the Month.
Jake, all your hard work has definitely paid off. You were and are one of my strongest students I've ever had in my 12 years of working here at Lacey in the history department. Your work this year in AP has been exceptional. It was great to have you and see your amazing high average last year in honors.
Some of my favorite classes in high school were the digital media class with Mr. Merman and A-Push, U.S. History with Mr. Romeo. Always great times in those classes, and I always have such a fun time.
Jake is a great role model for other students. He's been involved with so many different things while he's in high school, and he's really got himself to a point where he's well-rounded. That's going to serve him really well as he moves forward with his college career and his professional career.
I've challenged myself academically in high school by, this year I've taken 3 APs and the rest are honors classes. Last year and every year after I've been improving every step of the way. So just for me personally, I've taken it step by step in order to reach the ladder stone of my academic career.
I think Jake Serrano has superpowers. I don't know how he does everything he does. He's such an amazing kid. He's so actively involved in the school. I've never met a student so involved and able to do it in a responsible way.
After high school, I'll be enrolling into OCC for 2 years for free because I got accepted into the STARS program, and I'll be majoring in digital communications. Afterwards, I'll be looking to transfer to another 4-year college.
Jake, you know, we first met 4 years ago when you were in the boys volleyball team freshman year, and I have to say that besides from being the most annoying Jets fan I've ever met in my life, you are without a doubt one of the greatest young men I've ever met in my life.
On a personal note, I can't thank Jake enough for the 3 years, going on 4 now, that he's put in here at WLTS to really make our programming better, to help with promotion, and to do all the crazy great things that he's done with the sports department.
So I just wish we could clone him. I know he's going to be successful in whatever he does, and I wish him all the very best.
Congratulations to Ellie, Jake, and Madison, and those are our presentations for Seniors of the Month and Unsung Hero. Thank you.
Good night. It's not, is it? It's not on the agenda.
Mr. Lytle, we have a Lacey minute? Oh, we do. Sorry, we have a Lacey minute.
Okay.
We're getting our steps in.
Back to the audience. Watch the Lacey minute. Just a minute.
All right, and now, our November Lacey minute. down the volume for next month. But once again, thank you, Mr. Merman, and all of his students. And congratulations to our 2 high school students who just signed, as you saw. And we're going to be highlighting that and getting the word out on social media as much as possible, because that is fantastic news. So congratulations to them both. And next month we have 2 videos. We'll have our December Lacey Minute, along with a special video that our special education students have been working on to promote all the great things that are going on in our district. And it's a video that is going to be shown often and on every website that we can get it out on. I'm not going to say much more because it'll be another surprise. So that'll be in December. All right, as much as we don't want to think about it, bad weather is around the corner, but we were spared last winter, so I think we're going to be spared again. In fact, I know we're going to be spared. But we still have to be prepared. So on Monday, November 25th at 6:00 p.m., we will perform a test of the district's automated calling system. So what does this mean? So on Monday, November 25th at 6:00, a call will go out to all of our families that are in our student information system. That will include an automated call, a text, and an email. And so what we're asking is that if you do not receive the call, the text, or the email, to please call your building's main office to let them know, because it's really important that you get that information. And then another thing that we're going to be doing is, again, using Twitter. So if you don't have a registered Twitter account, we'll be getting that information out as well as very, very early. And so if you don't have a Twitter account, I'm going to encourage you to sign up for one. So once again, that is going to be on Monday, November 25th at 6:00 p.m. All right, at this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Jerry Conity from Holman, Frenia, and Allison to provide an overview of the district's most recent audit. So welcome to Jerry.
All right, the most exciting part of the night, guys, right here. As a former resident or former student here in Lacey, there's nothing to help you feel more inadequate as a student going through the halls than watching some of these videos of how miraculous these kids are. So it was kind of special to see. So what we have in front of you tonight, or electronically in front of you tonight, is the final draft of the audit report for the school district for the year ended June 30th, 2019. I apologize, we're here a little late. We are still ahead of the state's filing deadline. We've kind of been waiting around for the state to provide certain information in order to finish the report. So we just got the information just a couple weeks ago, so that's what led us to come here tonight to present the audit report. We do have one small change to make in the report, which we'll make, and we'll get that fixed before we actually issue the report. But we have there are 2 schedules that I like to kind of point people to. If you take nothing else away from this document, it's very large. It's over 200 pages, so I'm going to try and condense it down to very short. But there's 2 areas where you want to look. One is the letter of transmittal, and one is the management's discussion and analysis. Those are on pages 1 and 17 of the audit report. And what they do is they really condense down a lot of the information that's in the report and give a lot more information behind not just the numbers that are in the financial statements and give a little understanding as to how they arrived at those numbers and what transpired during the year, but also gives you a little bit better understanding of where the district's position as it moves forward and where it's kind of looking to go. So those are 2 great spots to look. We have an unmodified opinion on the financial statements. That's the best that we can give. It says there are no modifications necessary to bring us in compliance with the accounting standards that we're required to report on. One area that I just want to point out to you is the fund balance at year end, and that's on page 101 of the audit report, or if you're in the PDF, if anybody's in the PDF right now, it's on page 111 of the actual PDF. At year end, the district had about $8.9 million in total fund balance at year end. There were certain things where we have some money set aside into some reserves, capital reserve and maintenance reserve. We have about $4.6 million in the capital reserve and a little under $400,000 in the maintenance reserve. Those are very important. It's really kind of the only avenue that the district has to kind of prepare for years in the future. School districts are in a very unique position that they're only allowed to keep a maximum of 2% of their operating budget, which isn't a whole lot when you think of a large district, $70 million. That for Lacey Township is about $1.4 million. It doesn't give you a lot of flexibility to prepare for the future, so that's why those reserves are good. Also have some encumbrances, things that have been ordered but have not yet been received yet. Those are about $960,000. And then the board authorized in its 2020 budget the utilization of about almost $770,000 of surplus there to help balance the budget in 2020. Left a little over $2 million in fund balance, and as I said before, the statutory calculation, the maximum that you're allowed to have unassigned is about $1.4 million. Left about $661,000, what's referred to as excess surplus. So what that means is as the district in the next couple months starts to prepare its fiscal year budget for 2021, that's the minimum that the district is required to utilize in surplus to help balance the budget. So that's what that means. So as Dr. Clark and as Mr. George start to kind of put that together, they'll be mindful that we'll need to utilize those funds to help balance the budget as you move forward there. We did also, since you've expended more than $750,000 of federal funds as well as state funds, we're required to do an additional layer of testing, what's referred to as a single audit, where we look at a lot of the compliance requirements that are behind that granting agencies kind of put forth and say, we want you to make sure that you're looking at A, B, C, D. So throughout all of our testing on the financial statements as well as all of that single audit testing, I'm happy to report that we have no comments or recommendations in the report, nothing that rose to the level of a significant deficiency or anything along those lines. So I'd just like to thank, while I have a minute, Mr. George, I know Miss Sylvia's in the back somewhere, there she is, and Dr. Clark. My wife is an accountant in an accounting department, so I get to hear from her annually of how frustrating it is as the auditors come in and a lot of the back and forth and a lot of the questions and things like that, so I know how frustrating it can be, and so I'd like to thank you guys for all the courtesies extended to not just myself, but my staff as well throughout our time here, and it's been a pleasure to work with you guys, so I'm happy to answer any questions if you guys have any, but.
So we're in good shape, bottom line.
You are in good shape, absolutely.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Can I just take a second? Sure. So, Mr. Connie, while you're here, thank you. This is the first year that I have personally worked with your firm. Very impressive. You and your team did an outstanding job. No issues, very easy to work with. So thanks very much for your guidance and support and for being a team throughout the year, especially you and I. I also wanted to thank Ms. Sylvia, our outstanding, and I don't use that term lightly, assistant business administrator who from the district's perspective really was the driving force behind working with Mr. Conity and his team on putting this audit together. It is absolutely no easy task at all. So we're very, very lucky to have her. So thanks very much, and that's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. All right, just a few more comments. I'm sure that you have heard in the past several months some unfortunate news about deaths related to vaping. Vaping is a huge topic throughout the country, throughout the state. And even in our own district, I've received a few emails from parents concerned asking, what are we doing? So one of the things that we are doing, and I'm going to invite you all tonight for the first time, we're going to be sending out, again, some automated calls, posting information on our website. We just finished the flyer. I have been collaborating with Chief DeBella, the Municipal Alliance, the Township Committee, and especially the Lacey Township Police Department to put together a program that we're calling Out of Thin Air, What You Need to Know About Vaping. That program is going to take place on Thursday, December 5th from 6:30 to about 8:30. The reason why the program is so long is because the first half of the program is going to be spent focusing on vaping. and demystifying some of the myths about it, but also providing some factual information that we hope is going to be beneficial to both our parents and our students. So parents, I'm going to encourage you to bring your students with you. We are going to be doing some raffles, so we're working with the Police Department and the Municipal Alliance, the Ocean County Health Department, Robert Wood Johnson, the DART Coalition, the Institute for Prevention. So lots of partnerships going on with this project. And the second half of the program, Chief DeBella was very fortunate, we were very fortunate, to have what we're calling a keynote speaker, and his name is Captain Joe Shellhammer. And Captain Shellhammer is with the Colorado Task Force, who's going to come talk to us about the dangers of the legalization of recreational marijuana. So the first half of the program is going to be spent on vaping, and then the second half of the program is going to be spent talking about recreational marijuana. So again, lots of information. Starting tomorrow is going to get posted on our website. Automated calls are going out, and the police department is also going to be advertising our flyers. So I encourage all of our families to attend, but most especially our students, probably Mill Pond age and up. And finally, I wanted to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and just a reminder that we are closed on Friday the day after, so that everybody can recover from turkey and perhaps get some shopping done. That concludes my comments, President Giordano. Thank you for the opportunity to present.
All right, thank you, Dr. Clark. At this time, I'd like to open the floor, make a motion to open the floor to public comment. Move. All right. Public comment? Sounds good. Seeing none, I'll make a motion to close the floor to public comment.
Move.
Oh, wait, okay.
Motion to reopen.
You have to make a Just please state your name and address, please.
My name is Storm Mathias, Area Manager for Champions Before and After Care Program. I just want to make a quick comment, just a thank you to the board for accepting champions in the program. Warm and welcoming. Met with the assistant superintendent last week, Mr. Decker. Had a great conversation with him, and just embracing champions in the program. I did want to share that we're going to, over the next couple of weeks, we're really trying to catapult, interest into the program. In December, we're going to start our new lesson plans. We are an accredited program. We are going to introduce the winter breaks and the winter programs for the students in the Champions program. Another component that we're going to add on to the students in the after-school program would be our Tech Track program. It's a technology-based program. It is working with computer coding and robotics, and teaching the students how to do computer coding in the Champions program and robotics, and working together as a collaborative group. So you're going to have your pilot and your co-pilot, you're going to have your instructor, and they're going to work in teams of 3 to make Cody, the robot, do certain things and perform certain actions. And that will start December the 14th. We've had extensive training. For those that do not know on the panel, I manage the state of Maine for before and after care programs and the state of New Jersey. And I had the opportunity to have some of my friends in Maine fly out to New Jersey over the summer to teach the team members here in Lacey on how to work with the Tech Track program. And then lastly, because I had the opportunity to manage the 2 states, in December, same December 14th, or 15th, I apologize, we're going to actually have our first Pen Pal. Lenoka Harbor will start our Pen Pal program with Glenburn. It's a program that I manage in the state of Maine in Winterport. So they're going to have a Pen Pal, and it's going to be pretty interesting. We did it last year in another program that I managed, and the students would open up with part of their components is opening up with who am I? In September, we had a lesson plan, and it was about who am I as a person? What do I like? Getting to know me. So we're going to mail that information to the kiddos in Maine. They're going to mail stuff back, and then they're going to end off with a phone conference and then a video conference with the other student in Maine. So it's pretty impressive, and it's pretty inclusive, and it gets the kids involved to learn about different cultures and different environments. While we're hanging out with 2 inches of snow, I got to slide down a snowbank with about 19 inches of snow, so it's pretty impressive. But I just want to share that with you all, and I thank you once again for letting us be a part of your family.
Just don't bring that snow here.
Just don't bring the snow here. I
Yeah.
promise you I won't. I promise you won't. But I thank you all, and have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Now we'll make a motion to close the floor for public comment.
Motion.
Second. All right, we will move on to committee reports and then board member comments. So we'll start with Ms. Downing and the curriculum committee.
Okay, curriculum met on this past Monday. Present was Mrs. DeSenza, Mr. Riggs, myself, Dr. Clark, Mr. Decker, and Michelle Amos, our K-3 district supervisor. And one of the things we asked to be put on the agenda and we discussed was developmental kindergarten. Mrs. Amos actually did a lot of research back when we did the full-day kindergarten. Thank you. Sorry. Should I start over, or could you hear me? Good? Okay. So Mrs. Amos led the discussion since she did a lot of research back when we did the full-day kindergarten. And that's when the developmental kindergarten was eliminated, when the full day came in. We just started exploring, talking about it with the budget the way it is. It's going to be a long discussion, but we started the talk, and I know several of us are want to see developmental kindergarten or some kind of transitional program put in place to help with the achievement. But we're in the early stages, but I did want everyone to know that we are starting to talk about it. We also talked about Spotlight on Education. We're going to do one on chronic absenteeism coming up soon, I guess next board meeting?
Probably out in a couple weeks.
Okay, out in a couple weeks, so look at our website and chronic absenteeism, I don't think a lot of people realize that the district is, it's very important to get the children in school. And I know sometimes you'll say, oh, let's go to New York for the day. They don't have to go to school. But those absentees start adding up, and it counts against us as a school district. So it's very important to get the children in. And chronic, being consistently out, is a real problem. So this is something that Mr. Decker is addressing in this spotlight. So please stay tuned and look it up when it comes out. We also talked about, Dr. Clark was informing us that the administration is going to start conducting a formal demographic study for the district. Hasn't been done in a few years. And a demographic study just kind of tells you how many children are born in the town and what we can anticipate for kindergarten in the years ahead. We did that, I don't know when the last time was, the demographic.
About 2011.
2011, so it's overdue, so that's a real good thing. And that's it. That is it. Thank you, Mr. Giordano.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Downing. Mr. Riggs, Policy Committee.
Okay, so Policy Committee, we met on Tuesday, November 12th at 5 o'clock. It was myself, it was Frank, Skip, and Dr. Clark. We went over 6 new policies and 3 new regulations. Not really all new, a lot of them are just updates, so I'll go through the updates real quick. Some of them were just changing a word here or there, so let's go ahead and go through those real quick. 4160, which you remember was anything with the 4,000 is non-certificated. So it used to be tuberculosis testing is not required for volunteers working with students less than 20 hours per month. That's out. Now we will accept if you have a positive tuberculosis test or new staff members, contractors, student teachers with a documented negative tuberculosis test in the last 6 months. So we're accepting that now, whereas we made everyone get them before. Let's move on from there. School district security. It's always a hot topic. Everyone loves this topic. But this was to comply with some new regulations that the state had. One of them is security measures required for new school construction and existing school buildings. We're going to provide local law enforcement authorities a copy of the current blueprints and the maps for all the schools. We also installed a panic alarm that's required on any building, so that's in there now too. In accordance with NJSA, propping open doors to buildings or school grounds is strictly prohibited, and students and staff shall not open a door for any individual. All persons seeking entry into the main building should be directed to the main entrance. So that's a big one too, propping doors open. This just has to do with the regulation going with that, so that details everything. We don't need to go through all that. Student transportation, non-public school transportation or aid in lieu of transportation shall be provided for residents, students, and that expanded out a little bit more. That includes, we'll provide for homeless students, students residing in group homes, students residing in resource family homes, students residing in shared custody homes. So we'll be transporting all them now too. Has a couple more changes on there. Student transportation, again, regulation that goes with it. Volunteer athletic coaches and co-curricular activity, this is 9181. And the only thing that we took out there is all school volunteer athletic coaches or co-curricular activity advisors obtain a criminal history record check, and it's no longer to be reimbursed by the board, so you have to pay for your own criminal history check if you want to be a volunteer. So that is out too. All right. Parent organizations. This is just some additions. I'm not going to go through that. News media relations, this is who can talk to the media. It's not just anybody. It's not just any board member. It's not just anybody that's on the board or anybody that's in administration. It's supposed to come through the proper channels. That being the superintendent or the designee. The chief communication representative shall be readily available, and they're the ones that they're going to release all the information to the media. All right, so it's not just anybody. Even us just saying no comment is a comment, so we're not even allowed to say that. So anything's going to be referred to the proper channels. Media relations. And now for the other one. This was a bit of a, I didn't really agree with this at first, so we went back and a couple of us added some things and took some things out. This is 0167, which is public participation in board meetings. We looked at other districts around us. We looked at other schools in the county. Some of them have 3-minute time limits. Some of them have 5-minute time limits. Some of them have odd time limits, like only 30 minutes is going to be set aside to public comment. So if somebody gobbles up 25 minutes of it, anybody else can only talk 5 minutes, which made no sense. So we tried to make it fair for everyone. So I'll walk you through what we did here. We do recognize the value of the public comment and educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on school matters of community interest. To that end, the Board of Education will permit public participation 2 times during the regularly scheduled monthly board meetings, which we do already. The first public session will be before the board is scheduled. It's the agenda section, the 6 o'clock meeting, which nobody's ever here for. It's not filmed. We're going to allow 5 minutes during the agenda session, and that's only to talk about whatever's on the agenda. Then we have our other public comment section, which is the one that just passed right before we speak in the 7 o'clock meeting hour. Again, we're going to offer you 5 minutes to say whatever it is that you have to say. And that doesn't have to be agenda-based. That's 5 minutes. You can get to the point in 5 minutes. The presiding officer may or may not extend that time. And then at the end, you're also allowed to come back up at the end. If anybody wants to, after you've spoken, after everyone else has talked about a topic, you're welcome to come back and you can have another 5 minutes. Well, doesn't even say that on here. They can just come back up and talk. So as it was before, it was just a free range, anything you guys wanted to do. But I don't think 20 minutes of listening to public comment is, we can wrap it up a little bit tighter than that. So that's what we're doing now is 5 minutes during agenda session, 5 minutes during regular session, and you can come up and talk again if you'd like to. So those are all up for first read tonight. They're going to be a second read and adoption in December, and then in January they will be part of what we do here. That's really all I have for policy, and that's really enough, isn't it? So I'm going to hand back off to President Giordano. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Riggs. Vice President Morandi, Finance Report.
Sure. So Finance, we met on Monday at a little earlier than expected, 4:45. It was myself, President Giordano, Regina DeSenza, Dr. Clark, and Mr. DeGeorge was there. First of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Connie. He left already for the audit, and seems like, not that we're in great shape because we know our budget issues, but everything came out pretty much a grade A+, for what we dealt with. Also, I'd like to thank Mr. DeGeorge and his staff. They did a great job, as Mr. Connery also said. They don't get that much appreciation throughout the year, but they're working constantly, always working on the budget. It's a non-ending issue. Our budget starts July 1st, and then we're working on the budget for next year pretty much at the same time, so we appreciate everything you do. This couple of things we spoke about was our major projects that we were working on. The mill pond, the floors, bleacher replacement. As of Monday, we just had a couple of punch list items. I'm not sure if they were finished and we got the final seal, or?
Just about.
Okay, same as the mill pond boiler replacement and the high school track. In this meeting, you're going to see a couple of things on the agenda, of course. Couple of other big projects that we have that we need to replace. The rooftop unit at the high school, and a couple of controllers at the middle school. Large ticket items, not as large as the other ones, but things we have to get done. You know, everything's getting old in these schools, and things eventually going to need to be replaced. And that's why during the audit announcement over there, we are putting some money back into the capital gains and the capital improvement fund and the maintenance fund. Couple of things we're getting. I think last year someone brought this up, I think Mrs. Downing, the snow removal for the school buses. Did we purchase that yet, or?
We will after
this meeting?
After this meeting, yes.
Okay. More of a safety issue, okay? These school buses have to be cleared of snow and ice before they get on the road. That's what this machine's going to be able to do. And I think that is it for the finance. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vice President Morandi. We'll start off with board comments. Ms. DeSenza.
Thank you. It was a very busy month again, and that was a very nice surprise from the Mill Pond School. Your patience while waiting for the new floor was very much appreciated, and we are happy that the students love their new gym floor, and I can't wait to see it next week. Congratulations to our November Seniors of the Month, Jake Serrano and Madison Dennehy, and our unsung hero, Ellie Reed. Please keep up the good work. On Tuesday and Wednesday, October 22nd and 23rd, I attended the New Jersey School Board Association annual workshop in Atlantic City. Some of the sessions were quite interesting. Mr. DeGeorge presented a session with our architect on capital projects, and it was very informative. I missed the financial aid info night at the high school on Thursday, October 24th, but I was at the Lacey Township Committee meeting, and I haven't figured out how to be in two places at once yet. The middle school dance, Friday, October 25th, was very well attended. The students had a great time since it was both a dance and an opportunity to play in the gym. Both volleyball and basketball were available. Thank you very much to all the staff and PTA parents that put this wonderful event together for the students. It is a lot of work, and a lot of chaperones are required. Saturday, October 26th, was the Mother-Son Bingo at the high school, sponsored by the PTSA. In spite of the rainy night, it was very well attended. Again, thank you very much to the PTSA for sponsoring this event. Monday, October 28th, was a Municipal Alliance meeting. On Tuesday, October 29th, was the National Honor Society induction ceremony at the high school. It was very dignified and well coordinated. Congratulations to all the new inductees, and thank you to all the staff that made this special event possible. November 11th, as was mentioned, we held our Finance Committee meeting. Wednesday, November 13th, was the Parent Advisory Committee meeting for special ed in the High School Media Center. The next meetings will be held during the day at 10 a.m. and in the evening at 7:30 p.m. on Wednesday, December 4th. Please come and offer the group your thoughts and ideas for future meetings and topics. College Academy Information Night at the high school, November 14th, was extremely well attended. This was standing room only here in the lecture hall. It was followed by freshman welcome tours at 6:30, and at least 200 students and families attended. Friday, November 15th, was the 30th annual Harvest Hoedown celebration at the Fork and River School. The fourth graders had a great time, and the winning costumes were very authentic looking. This is quite a tradition to see the hoedown in progress. We had our curriculum meeting on Monday, November 18th. Last night, Wednesday, November 20th, was strategic planning training sessions for the 2 research committees. There's a lot of work to be done there. And tonight, November 21st, is the opening night for the high school play, a live radio show. I hope to see you tomorrow. All are invited. Check the website for times over the weekend. Tomorrow night, the play starts at 7 p.m. This coming Saturday, November 23rd, Mr. Riggs and I will be traveling to Trenton for the New Jersey School Board Association Delegate Assembly. Sunday, December 1st at 3 p.m. is the annual Lacey Christmas Parade, leaving from the Lacey United Methodist Church to the Municipal Building for the annual tree lighting. The Marching Lions will be there. Come cheer them on. Due to a previous commitment to the Ocean County School Board meeting on Thursday, December 5th, I will not be present at the community vaping presentation to be held at the high school, as Dr. Clark mentioned, at 6:30 p.m. in the auditorium. Please attend this vaping presentation. This has become a very important and critical health topic. The next board meeting is scheduled for Monday evening, December 16th. I'm looking forward to all the wonderful holiday concerts, play on, and thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you, Mr. Giordano.
Thank you, Ms. DeSenza. Mr. Polino.
Just want to congratulate our students of the month, Ellie, Jake, and Madison. I want to thank Mrs. Nemick and her students for the letters. I can't wait to look at them. The children show their gratitude to us, but really it's something that they deserve, and I'm happy that they're happy. I'm going to try to attend the show tomorrow night. I'm hoping to get there, so I'm a little anxious about that. I want to see it. I'm happy to get there.
That's going to be fun.
I just want to...
Microphone.
Is everybody's coming in yelling at me about it? Okay. I just want to just let the public know that what our students do inside of school and how great they are, but things that the public doesn't see what our students do outside of school. So, and this is a personal thing, in the recent past, within the last month or so, our student representative, Kylie Bragg, who's a member of Lenoka Harbor EMS, which I am also a member of, and my son, who's a recent graduate of this school, provide a lot of hours, volunteer a lot of hours. They don't get paid for being on EMS, as well as some of our other students who volunteer on the local fire companies. But what people don't see is what they do. And Kylie and my son were on a call for a 40-something-year-old female, not breathing, no heartbeat. And I watched those two on a call for 40 minutes perform CPR on this woman, and a week later she was home talking. So I just want to congratulate Kylie and the crew and all of our students who do things outside of the school and the community that nobody gets to see or hear about. And we have some wonderful kids here, and I want to congratulate everybody who supports our community in that respect, all our children. And that's it, thank you. And happy Thanksgiving to all. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Polino. That's worthy of a round of applause, absolutely. All right, I will throw it down to the other end, and Mr. Peters, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Giordano. Thank you, Mr. Giordano. I'd like to congratulate Mrs. Downing, Donna and Ed, welcome to the board. I'm looking forward to working with a team that we can work with. I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. On that note, family. Family is very important. And being on this board is very important, but the main thing is being with the family. I ask that it's not just us that's going to make your son or daughter a good student. We need the family involved. When you're sitting having dinner, put the phone away. Have them communicate. When they come home, whether he or she is ready to play video games, let them do it and make sure the homework's done first. We need family support up here. We cannot do it ourselves. Mr. Oliveira, welcome to the team. Looking forward to you. And I have your first project, and here it is. So I decided to grab one of these letters from the Proud Paul Club, and I wanted to read it real quick of these guys thanking us for the gymnasium there at the school. Thank you for the new gym. I really like the new gym and the bleachers and the colors. My most favorite thing is the floor. I like the paw print in the middle and the color. You did a very good job, but I would like it more if you put a fresh coat of paint on the lion. So, Mr. Oliver, you have your first challenge to make sure we have a fresh coat of paint on that lion at Mill Pond School. Ellie, Reed, congratulations. Jake, I met you at Candidates Night, and I knew you were a special person the first time I met you. I've seen you in town a few times, remember my name, and we've talked a few times. And that is about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Peters. Mr. Riggs? You're good? No comment? Wonderful.
Congratulations to everyone who won. Looking forward to where we're going with this. That's it.
Thank you. Mrs. Downing?
Okay, first I'd like to congratulate Mr. Peters. Welcome back, Mrs. McAvoy, and welcome, Mr. Scanlon. Looking forward to working with you. And I want to thank everyone for supporting us for re-election, and I look forward to another 3 years working for the students of Lacey Township. So thank you for your support. I want to congratulate Ellie Reed as the Unsung Hero. I've always said that's the most special award that I see out of all the awards we do, because it's a person who doesn't look for fame and recognition, and yet they do so much behind the scenes. So thank you, Ellie. Want to thank the Mill Pond Proud Paws. Proud Paws are such a great organization that they do at Mill Pond, and I can't wait to read these. You know me with elementary kids. I love reading their stories and their work, so thank you so much. Also want to congratulate our seniors of the month, Madison and Jake. Really outstanding students. Looking forward to see what they do in the future. I also, talking about the future, I don't think anyone's mentioned it tonight. We have the new Wall of Honor in the main lobby, and if you get a chance, are the hallways open where they could walk down? Take a walk down where the front lobby is, and the whole wall is the Wall of Honor, honoring our graduates who have served in the service. And it's just a beautiful tribute to our students. Mr. Brandis, it's gorgeous. I love it.
Looks fantastic.
Very good. It just takes your heart, you know, it just. Yes. And I've always said in Jackson, their wall, you know, why can't we do something like this? Well, I think we far surpassed Jackson. It's beautiful. So thank you. It's beautiful. So if you get a chance, don't walk out this way. Go around to the main lobby and take a look at it. It's really, really nice. And I want to thank the Mr. George and your staff for a great audit. It's good to know we're in good financial order, though we don't have a lot of money. It's good and in order. And I want to wish everyone a very, very happy Thanksgiving. And if you're traveling, be safe on the roads. And if you're staying home, eat lots of turkey. Thank you. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Mrs. Downing.
Yeah.
Vice President Morandi.
Thank you. I think we need some Lysol in this place. In the last month, I was sick twice, and I got someone coughing next to me. I got someone sneezing next to me. So I have a feeling it's not going to be a good Thanksgiving, but first of all, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Congratulations to our students of the month. Over the finance, I did talk about the audit report. Thank you to the business staff, Mr. Oliveira. In a little while, congratulations. I'd like to congratulate Ms. McAvoy, Mr. Scanlon, our incumbents that won again. You all talk about next month for our final meetings. But listen, when I ran 3 years ago, 4 of us ran. It was it's how a school board election should be. You know, we had our platforms, we went to our meetings, we spoke in front of groups. Everything was pleasant. 3 won, 1 loss, everything was good. I hope in the future, last year and this year, it was nasty campaigns. We're not running for public office where we're making 60, 100,000, 200,000. It's a volunteer job. And know what? No one's name should be run through the mud like it was, especially this year. So like I said, I just want to congratulate everybody. I just hope in the future, you know what, come up, have your platforms, wherever group you go to, run a clean election, and whoever wins, wins. I'm glad I didn't run this year, because sometimes, you know, someone says something about me, I'm gonna come right back, and I know you're not supposed to, but no, you can't direct people's names like that, family. You know, there's personal issues. If you have something against them on the record as a board member, that's one thing. But just throwing personal stuff in. And no, I'm not gonna say it was one group or another. It was just the whole campaign, so I'm not putting on any one or a few people. I'm gonna have plenty of time in the future to read these. I'm gonna start right away. Come January, I definitely will have plenty of time, so. Huh?
Give you my pie.
There you go. Listen, I'll be here next, so I'll talk about, like I said, my final time next year, next meeting, and I have only a few nice words for Mr. Giordano, but I appreciate everyone coming out tonight, small crowd, but thank you very much, and that's mine.
All right, thank you, Mr. Morandi. First, I want to start off by congratulating our Students of the Month and the Unsung Heroes, so Jacob, Madison, and Ellie. Again, they represent Lacey's finest, great accomplishments, great balance of education, community service, sports, volunteer work. It's just amazing what these students can do. Mrs. Nemec and the Proud Paws team, they just did a great job, and that's these types of things when students get up and come and present is what makes being a board member super special, very gratifying. As Mr. Morandi just said, the last few months have been a little bit of a challenge, but this volunteer work, it's all about the kids, and those are the special moments. Awarding the Students of the Month, giving out diplomas for graduation, that's what makes being a board member super special. I'd like to congratulate Mr. Peters, Mrs. Downing, Mrs. McAvoy, welcome back, and Mr. Scanlon. Mr. Scanlon, you called me on the evening of the campaign, or the evening of the election, prior to any results being mentioned, and wished me luck, and we had a very good discussion. And I wish you the best of luck. And of course, if there's any time that you ever need to speak to me in the future about anything that's not confidential, you can certainly lean on me and ask me questions, because I'm looking forward to helping the team that gets on. And you know, doing this has been very gratifying for me. You know, being a student here and growing up here and going through K through 12 here, it has been incredibly gratifying, and I can hold my head high. I'm very proud. I have no regrets. We know that para decision that we had to do was not a popular decision, and quite frankly, it's probably what spurred you to run. But I will never say that I won't shy away from a decision that's not popular, but you know, keep in mind, as a board member, there's 7. So it's not just because you're in the president's seat, you're like, you know, you may swing the gavel, but you're not in charge. It's a collective effort from 7 people. So, you know, with that, good luck to you guys. You're going to face incredible challenges up here in the next couple of years from a financial perspective. So, but I know you guys will all do very well. Mr. Matthews in the Champion Program, thanks for coming up and giving us that information tonight. I've heard some great things about the program. I'm really excited. I think the numbers before and after school have increased, and the kids are really excited and loving what they're doing there. So we appreciate you coming out and giving us that information. Mr. Conity, obviously the audit presentation gives us a sound financial grade, right? You know, obviously we're faced with some very strong financial challenges because of S2 and the budget cuts from the state. But I think Mr. DeGeorge, the team in the central office, have done an excellent job. As Mr. Morandi said early on, the budget planning and the budget preparation is a all-year exercise. And it's the people in the central office, it's our building administrators, the district leadership team. It's a lot of work. So kudos to you and your team for a job well done. And I'll end it with this. You know, sometimes, and I'm obviously going to save more of my comments for the last meeting. Oh, Mr. Oliveira, soon to be congratulations, but welcome aboard. You know, we head into the holiday season, and this is a family season, or a season where you should be with your family and spend time with your family. You know, I look at the results of the election, and I'm a pretty open and transparent person. My parents are not getting any younger. My dad is in somewhat ill health, and my mom has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. So I look at taking a step away from this to be able to spend some time doing the really important work of helping taking care of my parents and my family. So with that, realize the importance of family. I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and stay safe and don't eat too much turkey. Thank you. All right, resolutions. New business, number 1 through 22.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
First one is Mr. Morandi.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Polino.
Yes.
Mr. Peters.
Yes, I have to abstain. I have to abstain, item number 173251 on page 20.
Thanks, sir. Mrs. DeSenza.
Yes on all, and I have exceptions, 32 nay votes on item 2, the bills and claims report, which I will furnish to you in an email. I'm abstaining on item 6, and nay on the policy change, item 15, attachment B1, policy 0167.
And you would be so kind as to put all that in
Yep.
note to me? Great. I'll write that fast. Mr. Riggs.
Yes.
Mrs. Downing.
I'm going to abstain on the list of bills, page 7, number 950450, and yes for the remainder.
Thank you. Mr. Morandi.
Yes.
Mr. Giordano.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, item B, donations.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Polino.
Yes.
Mr. Peters.
Yes, and thank you.
Mrs. DeSenza.
Yes, and thank you very much.
Mr. Riggs.
Yes.
Mrs. Downing.
Yes.
Mr. Morandi.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Giordano.
Yes, and thank you. Item C, programs and curriculum.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Polino.
Yes.
Mr. Peters.
Yes.
Mrs. DeSenza.
Yes.
Mr. Riggs.
Yes.
Mrs. Downing.
Yes.
Mr. Morandi.
Yes.
Mr. Giordano.
Yes. Item D, professional days and workshops.
Move.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Polino.
Yes.
Mr. Peters.
Yes.
Mrs. DeSenza.
Yes.
Mr. Riggs.
Yes.
Mrs. Downing.
Yes.
Mr. Morandi.
Yes.
Mr. Giordano.
Yes. Item C, certificated personnel, numbers 1 through 12.
Motion.
Second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Polino.
Yes.
Mr. Peters.
Yes.
Mrs. DeSenza.
Yes, and congratulations on your retirement, Ms. Ziegler. You will be missed.
Mr. Riggs.
Yes.
Mrs. Downing.
Yes, and I want to say, we're going to miss Lucille. She's been a part of this district for years, and also Cindy Minton, secretary, I believe at the high school, correctly? Correct?
Yes.
both of them will be missed. Yes is my vote.
Thank you. Mr. Morandi?
Yes.
Mr. Giordano?
Yes. And at this time, before I read off F, non-certificated personnel, I'd like to turn it back over to Mr. DeGeorge for...
Oh, okay. Good evening. Before I officially welcome Mr. Oliveira, our new Educational Facilities Manager, I want to say a sincere thank you to our current and outgoing Facilities Manager, Mr. MacArthur. Mr. MacArthur has quickly become a very important part of our district and a very well-respected member of our team who really cares about the students and the staff here. He transformed the position, and his time here has set a bar that is very high. That said, I wanted to read from a memo regarding Mr. Oliveira that I sent to the board. It said this, in part, on behalf of the interview committee, which was comprised of Dr. Clark, Mr. Decker, Mrs. Delvento Evans, Mr. King, Mr. MacArthur, and me, I'm pleased to report that we are recommending Mr. Marco Oliveira as the next Educational Facilities Manager for the Lacey Township School District. Mr. Oliveira is highly qualified for the position and brings a lot to the table. He is currently a general manager for Aramark Corporation, where he has worked since 1985. Mr. Oliveira has served as Educational Facilities Manager for various New Jersey public school districts, including Shore Regional High School District from 2003 through 2019. While at Shore Regional, he managed custodial, maintenance, and ground staff members and oversaw various capital projects. Recently, he was assigned to the Basking Ridge School District, way up there in Somerset County. Mr. Oliveira holds a BA in Business Management and an MA in Business Management from Lehigh University. He lives in nearby Waretown and is looking forward to serving the district. We believe that he will be a great fit here. So welcome, Mr. Oliveira, to our team.
And let me just say a few words, because we did have a very strong committee, but we had some very strong candidates as well. And you stood out, Marco, as the strongest candidate, and we welcome you to our district. And one thing I want to say is I gave him a little trick question at the end, because unbeknownst to my colleagues, I think they missed it, that Marco speaks Portuguese, and so I happen to speak Portuguese, and I asked him the last question in Portuguese, and he passed the test. So he didn't lie about that. He speaks fluent Portuguese, which is another asset. So welcome, congratulations, and we all look forward to working with you.
Excellent, and welcome, congratulations. Item F, non-certificated personnel, numbers 1 through 7.
I'd like to make the motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Polino.
Yes.
Mr. Peters.
Yes.
Mrs. DeSenza.
Yes, and welcome.
Mr. Riggs. Mrs. Downing.
Yes.
Mr. Morandi.
Yes, welcome, and I'd like to also thank Mr. MacArthur on the fine job he did.
Thank you. Mr. Giordano.
Yes, and welcome, and best wishes to Mr. MacArthur. He did a great job for us. All right, with that, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I have
Oh,
a-
we
No,
have a
we have
walk-off.
one more.
We have a walk-off.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir, we have what's known as a walk-on resolution, which came out of the private session which we held before. The motion reads, recommend that the board approve the return of student ID number 908349 to the Lacey Township High School effective Monday, November 25th, 2019, pending satisfactory review of final sentencing disposition. Motion, please.
Move it. Second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Polino.
Yes.
Mr. Peters.
Yes.
Mrs. DeSenza.
Yes.
Mr. Riggs.
Yes.
Mrs. Downing.
Yes.
Mr. Morandi.
Yes.
Mr. Giordano.
Yes.
That is all I have.
May
All right.
I interrupt 1 second?
You bet.
Mr. DeGeorge, I have to change my vote on the first A. I did not abstain on number 1. I was absent that night, so I have to abstain on number 1.
Oh,
That's the
abs-
meeting minutes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I
I
forgot to
will,
do that.
will change.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sure, yes, ma'am.
That's all from me.
Yes, sir, that is all.
Excellent. Now I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Meeting adjourned.
Who made the motion? That was a lot of motion.
They forgot to turn the clock back.